Okay, so we've just finished this really intensive exploration
Yeah.
digging into Yuval Noah Harari's Homo Deus.
Yeah, a deep dive for sure.
Definitely. And it tackles these huge questions, right? Like, where is humanity actually going? What's next for us?
What I found striking, and what we will really get into first in this series, is Harari's style. He's got this knack for making incredibly complex stuff
Well,
accessible.
totally. He frames it all around storytelling.
Exactly. His core argument, which we will unpack, is that humanity is essentially about the stories we create and believe in. Our whole progress, our societies, they're built on narratives.
And what we will see is how he doesn't just, tell a story. He builds these massive narratives about our potential future. But then he also turns right around and questions the stories we're living by now. It's like he's saying, look where we might go, but are the foundations we're building on actually solid?
Right. And connecting that to the bigger themes we will explore, the material suggests we're kind of moving past the old battles, survival, fighting plague, famine, war.
Yeah, the historical big three.
Harari argues our new aims are much bigger. We're talking transcendence, seeking things like, happiness, immortality, even godlike powers. This is what he flags as the Homo Deus moment we will discuss.
And this is where, for me, it gets really, really interesting. In part 2, we will look closely at how we got here, focusing on the rise of humanism.
Ah, yes, humanism. It's presented as the secular belief system, right? Where authority shifted. It stopped being external gods or scriptures.
And moved inward to you.
Yeah.
Your feelings, your experiences, your choices, that's what becomes the source of meaning, the ultimate judge.
But that immediately raises a tension we will dig into. If you push that individual focus to its extreme, does it start to pull society apart?
You mean, like, does it weaken the shared stories, the collective glue that kind of holds us together?
Precisely. That potential fragmentation of social coherence is something we will examine.
And this tension, it just gets amplified massively when technology enters the picture, especially AI. That's a whole section we will tackle later.
Oh, definitely. In part 3, we will be getting into how artificial intelligence is really challenging things we thought were uniquely human, like creativity, art, the soul, maybe.
It forces you to ask, okay, if an algorithm can paint or compose music or write poetry that feels real, what does that mean for human originality, for human emotion in art?
We will explore this idea that art could become, almost predictable. An output designed by algorithms to hit certain targets, valued more for the result than the messy human journey of creating it.
So wrapping all this together, what does it mean for you listening to this? In our final part, we will look at what Harari suggests is a kind of crisis of modernity.
Yeah, this paradox he points out. What if gaining ultimate power, like the power over life itself, actually makes us lose meaning?
It's a heavy thought. And we will discuss how systems we rely on, like liberalism, which is built on trusting your inner voice, your freedom to choose.
How those systems might become, obsolete. If algorithms genuinely start to understand you and your desires better than you understand yourself, where does free will fit?
Which leads straight into this concept we will introduce, dataism.
Right. Presented not just as tech, but almost like a new worldview. Maybe even a religion.
A religion of data.
Sort of. The idea, as we will discuss, is that the universe is just data flow, and value comes from processing that data efficiently.
And the individual
might be seen as, an outdated processor compared to vast algorithms. The logic of the data flow could bypass the individual self altogether. We will really focus on that tension, human freedom clashing with algorithmic prediction within these modern systems.
So our goal across this series is really just to unpack these huge, sometimes pretty confronting ideas from Homo Deus to help you grapple with what they might mean for you, for all of us, navigating the future.
It's definitely a lot to think about. Gives you perspective.
It really does.
Yeah.
And maybe, as you start listening to the series, here's a thought to mull over, something that comes out of all this. If we do manage to gain the powers of gods, upgrading ourselves into something else, what happens to humanity in that process? What's left?